It's day two of the penultimate round of the Prototype Cup Germany season 2023, race 2 of the weekend. Hello everybody, welcome back to Assen. TT Circuit Assen, to be precise, where yesterday we had a very dramatic race. It was race 9 of the season, and with just 3 more races to go after yesterday, then the championship starting to get a little bit close at the top, and it was the main championship contenders who were in the battle. It was Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo who crossed the line first, but they were given a time penalty for exceeding track limits, and it was the championship leaders Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer who came through to take the win, relegating Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo to second in the race. It was a very dramatic race indeed. A number of safety cars and a number of incidents. Some great racing though. It was race 9 of the season, and now the cars line up for race 10, and there is our championship leading car, the number 15 Racing Experience Duquesne, with Marcus Pommer at the wheel and Gary Hauser as his co-driver. It was Pommer who did the qualifying yesterday, Gary Hauser who has qualified the car today, and he starts on the second row of the grid in position 4. Main championship challenger, that man there, Julian Apothelos, along with Oscar Tunyo. It was Oscar Tunyo who did the qualifying yesterday, and it was Julian Apothelos in the second stint who picked up that penalty. He starts third on the grid alongside his main championship challenger. So this is all to play for. Now it is possible that the championship could be decided this afternoon at Assen. For that to happen, Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer will need to outscore Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo by 14 points, because they lead them by 36 points in the Drivers' Championship. And after today, there will be just 50 points remaining on the table. That will be for the final 2 races of the season at the Nürburgring in October. So it is possible that Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer could clinch the championship here this afternoon. But there's an awful lot to play for. And Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo, well, they're still thinking back to that tragic time they had at Zandvoort. Tragic for them in terms of their championship challenge, because they recorded 2 non-finishes, having had a really good season. If you took Zandvoort out of the equation, they would be really there. There is the number 14 car. There's Jan Marszalkowski. Hello, Jan. He is sharing with Jasper Stixma. Well, that's going to hurt. Jasper Stixma, who we welcome back alongside Jan Marszalkowski, the Dutch driver who, along with Jan, won the race, Zandvoort race 1 of the weekend. Back then, it was a great win, and Stixma and Marszalkowski really working well together. And there is the number 72 car, Matthias Luton at the wheel, sharing with Lawrence Herr, the Quarren Campy Motorsport car, and they are very much working hard in the Trophy Championship, because Matthias Luton is 5th in that particular championship. So lots to play for here, lots going on. Our main focus is very much on the Drivers' Championship. Gary Hauser and Marcus Bommer leading, as I've already mentioned, by 171 points. In second place, Oscar Tunjo, Robin Rogowski. No, Oscar Tunjo and Julian Apostolos, should I say, with 135 points. That's 36 points adrift. In third place, the aforementioned Robin Rogowski and Valentino Catalano in the number 77 car. That is significant because Valentino Catalano had a great qualifying session this morning and put the car on pole position. They are 59 points adrift in the championship, so they will need to hope that bad luck befalls the two cars in front of them in the championship. But Valentino Catalano and Robin Rogowski are still in contention and in a very good position, starting from pole position. There is Levi Vapala in the Quarren Kempe Motorsport number 73 car, the second of the Quarren Kempe cars here this weekend, and he's making his debut, the young driver who has come from Formula Open Finland, Finnish driver in a Finnish team, and great things have been said about him. He has been very impressive in what he's done. He's making his debut in prototype racing this weekend, and what a way to do it. Sebastian von Gartzen, who starts 13th, had a day that he would rather forget yesterday. He shares with Maximilian Hacklander, who did a good job qualifying the car and getting it up the order, but then shortly after the pit stop, Sebastian von Gartzen found the barrier and his race came to a premature end. There is the other of the Conrad Motorsport cars, Danny Sufi in car number 2, starting in 14th on the grid and finished in 10th place yesterday, sharing with Hamza Uvega, and it's Hamza Uvega who did the qualifying this morning and qualified that car. Hamza, who's moved to prototypes from GT Racing, the older brother of Salman and Yusuf Uvega, who we see this year in DTM and GT Masters. Well, Hamza, an altogether different discipline for him in the prototypes, the LMP3 cars, has done a good job this weekend in the number 2 car. They came home in 10th place yesterday along with Danny Sufi and has qualified that car this morning. Something of a baptism of fire. There is Wolfgang Peyer in the number 12 car, and he is sharing with David Hauser, who is the older brother of Gary Hauser, who currently leads our championship. You can hear the engines have burst into life. We are getting ready for race 10 of this 12 race season for the Prototype Cup Germany. Other championships up for grab. There is the Trophy Championship, and that is currently being led by Wolfgang Peyer that we saw on our screen just now. He took the lead from Mark van der Snel. The van der Snels, this is their local track, Mark and Max, but had a bad day yesterday. Max ending up in the gravel trap after a very good progress at the start of the race, but ended up in the gravel trap and have dropped to second place in the Trophy Championship, albeit 10 points adrift of Wolfgang Peyer, who now leads the way in the Junior Championship. It's Julian Apostolos, who has 155 points. That's 16 points ahead of Nico Gerler, who is in second, and Max van der Snel, who dropped from the top of the junior standings as a result of that non-finish yesterday, currently in third with 136.5 points. You can see the cars are getting ready to start their formation lap here at TT Circuit Assen, the second of the Dutch races this year. We were at Zandvoort in June, and we return here to the Netherlands for this in glorious sunny conditions here at TT Circuit Assen, a circuit that is it's 4.542 kilometres. That equates to about 2.8 miles, 18 turns, 6 to the left and 12 to the right. Track that's not especially wide, between 10 and 14 metres wide, and it is along the back straight towards turn 6. That's the longest straight at 487 metres, and that is the best opportunity for overtaking. It is Valentina Catalana for DKR Engineering, who lines up on pole position with Jakob Elbacker for Gebhardt Motorsport in the number 70 car, who has qualified alongside, looking to improve on yesterday's 12th place. Third on the grid, second in the championship, Julian Apostolos for Van Ommen Racing by Data Lab, and alongside them, championship leaders Gary Hauser for racing experience. On row 3, it's Nico Gerler and Nigel Moore from the UK. Great to have Nigel on the grid here for the Prototype Cup Germany. Then on row 4, Xavier Loveras and Jasper Stixmer ahead of Matthias Luton and Elias Sperandio. And then it's Levi Vapala and Mark van der Snel on row 6. Row 7 is Sebastian von Gartzen and Hamza Avega, and Wolfgang Peyer bringing up the rear of the grid. to remind you, it is very much all to play for. It is possible that Hauser and Pommer could win the championship in the next hour, but there is an awful lot of racing to come, and they would require Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tuño to have an especially bad afternoon. The cars now lining up side by side, heading around on towards turn 16, and then it'll be 17 and 18 and out onto the pit straight, and it will be 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing ahead of us, and it will be all systems go. So you can see the cars now heading up towards 16. The safety car peels off into the pit lane. Here we come through the chicane and then out on towards turn 18 to the pit straight. We're waiting for those 5 red lights to go off. We are racing, and it is a great start for the number 70 car. Not such a great start for Valentino Catalano. No, Catalano coming back now onto that one. So it is Catalano who leads the way into the first corner, and it is Nico Gerler, and there are cars spinning right, left and centre into the first right-hand corner. We've got drama going on. Nico Gerler was involved in that after what was a slightly crowded start into that turn 1, and this is surely going to bring out a safety car. So there's cars stranded across the track. Now, who is it that we have lost? It looks like it might be Mark van der Snel, one of them. It is the number 77 car of Valentino Catalano who leads the way, but surely we're going to have a safety car coming any second soon. So 77 who leads from car 3, and that is Nigel Moore. So who have we lost? We've lost the number 8 car, Nico Gerler. We've lost number 72, that's Matthias Luton. You can see them stranded there on the track. Also involved in that was Julian Apothelos in the number 6 car. He's still moving, he's out on track and rejoining the back of the queue. So that disastrous race that he was trying to avoid, well, he's got caught up on that first lap incident. And hopefully we'll see a replay of that in a bit, and we'll see what exactly happened. Safety car is out as we expected. So cars stranded on the track, and we have certainly lost the number 72 car of Matthias Luton, the defending champion in the trophy category. Now, who is that? It looks as though that might be Elias Sparandio. I think that is the number 35 car. So let's have another look here, see what happened. It was Valentino Catalano who got a good start in the end. Now, Apothelos looked to the outside. Gerler was there on the inside. Gerler came up to the inside there. Some cars went, and Gerler just lost it and picked up Apothelos as well, spinning him out. And oof, right into the back. And that was Mark van der Snel, had absolutely nowhere to go. So this is very significant, especially as Julian Apothelos was involved in that accident. The driver who is challenging for the championship, and you get the feeling he might have some damage, and there is confirmation because his car is into the pits. He is out of the car, and this looks to me, if the number 15 car can come home and score some good points here this afternoon, they may well be crowned champions this afternoon. It's exactly what Oscar Tuño and Julian Apothelos didn't need here in race 2 at Assen. A non-finish for the Van Ommen Racing by Data Lab car, the number 6 car, getting caught up in that first corner incident. And their race is over, and this is disastrous news for their championship hunt. Suddenly, Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer can see that they could potentially get this championship sewn up this afternoon. There's Julian Apothelos. His face says it all. A comforting arm around the shoulder is not going to be much comfort at all. So we have lost 3 cars from the race. The other, Elias Sparandio, which is a real shame. The team from the UK, BHK Motorsport, who have worked so hard to prepare that car after the really big accident at the Norris Ring, the last time we saw these cars. And they replaced the Ligier chassis with a Duqueine and have worked hard to get it together on the track this weekend, but it looks as though the number 35 car will be going no further. So I'm going to wait for the cars to cross the timing line just to get confirmation of the places. I can see that Mark van der Snel is showing as still moving at the moment. So he is still showing as moving, but we'll wait until the cars cross the timing beam and then we can get confirmation on our screens as to the exact order. One thing is absolutely sure, Nico Gerler is out of this race and Gustava Kirila will not be getting a drive this afternoon, his co-driver. Right, here come the cars. So it is Valentina Catalana. Oh, this is the replay. Okay. Into turn one. We can see what happened there. So it was Julian Apothelos who looked the outside, Nico Gerler up the inside, and then completely coming out of turn one, got on the power a bit early, got a wheel on the curb, lost it, and unfortunately picked up Julian Apothelos. And then in the background, we saw Sperandio spinning as well. And then this was the impact, boof, behind Nico Gerler. And that is what saw off the, I think it was the number 99 car. You could see Apothelos going up through the gravel, but yeah, there it is, the 99 car. There is the view. So I think the timing screens just hadn't updated at the time, because I think that is the car that's got the camera in it. And currently looking at the sky as it is removed. No, in fact, that is the 72 car. So that is the Matthias Luton that has the camera in it. So maybe 99 is still in this race. Let's just have a look here. So it is Catalano who leads the way. Nigel Moore in second place. Good job from him. Jakob Erlbacher up to third in the number 70 car. Jasper Stixma in fourth place ahead of Mark van der Snel. So van der Snel still running in fifth place. Then Sebastian von Gartzen, Gary Hauser, Hamza Avega, and then Levi Vapela in ninth place ahead of Wolfgang Peyer. So we have lost several cars. We've lost Julian Apothelos, Nico Gerler, Elias Sperandio, Matthias Luton, and also Xavier Loveras. That was the other car. So both of the Van Ommen Racing by Data Lab cars getting taken out in that first corner incident. So really disastrous for Van Ommen Racing. That is Wolfgang Peyer in the Racing Experience Duquesne, just rushing to join the back of the queue. We are behind the safety car here at Assen, and this, which is race 10 of a 12-race season. To remind you, there are 25 points for a race win, so 75 points on offer. Coming into this race, Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer had a 36-point lead over Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo. So they only need to score 14 points and they will have this championship sewn up before we even get to the closing round at the Nürburgring. So cars behind the safety car at the moment. The clock's still ticking down. The track is being cleared. So just to confirm, it is Valentino Catalano who leads the way, Nigel Moore in second, and Jakob Erlbacher ahead of Jasper Stixma. So good job from him once again, and making good progress, particularly avoiding the dramas into turn one and turn two, which saw these cars taken out that you can see being removed at the moment. So we didn't really get much time to talk about the racing. It is a 55-minute race plus one lap. And there is a mandatory pit stop and driver change that is required for all cars. There is a pit window that will open 22 minutes into the race. It will remain open for 10 minutes and then will close 32 minutes into the race. During that 10-minute window, every car will need to come into the pits for a mandatory stop. And in the case of all bar one, for a driver change as well. The only car that will not be having a driver change is Levi Vapela in the number 73 Quarren and Kempe motorsport car. And that is because he is a solo driver, and as a result of being a solo driver, he will have a pit stop that is longer than the other drivers. Complicated but good, and it makes sure that everything is fair and even. In this Prototype Cup Germany, it is the second season of Prototype Cup Germany, organised by the ADAC in partnership with Creventic. As we see the cars just circulating at the moment. Right, we're on board. So this was with the number 72 car that we're on board with. Yesterday it was in the Van der Snel car. But here we go then. We can see a replay as they came across the line and in towards that first corner. And Nico Gerler, who had that moment in turn two, and the car snapped around. And then suddenly there is a car coming across the track. Where'd you go? Oof. Ouch. That has got to hurt, hasn't it? So that has effectively wiped out that car. So to confirm, it was the 72 car, Matthias Luton, not the Van der Snel car. So the Max and Mark Van der Snel, the father and son duo, who live not that far from here and are having a better race than yesterday. Yesterday, it was a non-finish for Max van der Snel after great progress at the start. It meant that Mark never even got a stint in the driving seat. The other driver, who is local to here, is Beitske Visser, and she is sharing driving duties with Elias Sparandio. But unfortunately, Sparandio is one of the cars that was involved in that incident and looks to be out of the race. So Beitske Visser, who many will know from W Series, she came second in 2022, won a race in that. She was due to be in the number 35 car, but will not get a drive this afternoon because the 35 car is now in the pits after that opening incident, which is such a shame. Great to have Beitske here. She had a good day yesterday, did a good job, finished in 11th place. This morning, Elias Sparandio qualified the car, got caught up in traffic, was pretty unhappy with that and qualified further back than he had hoped for. But that meant that he was right in the firing line when we had that incident in the first couple of corners of this race. Valentino Catalana leading the way at the moment in the number 77 car. Our main championship challengers now in this race leading the way, because our championship leader, Gary Hauser, currently in 7th place. So a bit of work to do from there. But picking up points, just a consistent finish is all that is needed. And Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser, with effectively one hand on the championship, with that 36-point lead, they have a 59-point lead over the car that's leading the way. So it's no massive drama if the 77 car were to win this race, not for them, because they have a lot more work to do to get back into the championship hunt. The car 77 currently leading the way. So Valentina Catalana, Nigel Moore, and already mentioned, great to have him here from the UK. He's replaced Konstantin Skoll in the Aus Motorsport car, and he sits alongside Dino Steiner. Was great yesterday. He's come through many LMP3 series. He was the winner in 2017 of the Asian Le Mans LMP3 series. He was also third in the same series in 2020. And he's been in LMP3 racing since 2016, so brings a lot of experience. A driver who many of the UK viewers will have seen in Ginetta and British GT4 over the years, and a very experienced pilot. So he is in 2nd place at the moment, so making a very successful debut in this series if things remain as they are. We can see the number 72 car, Matthias Luton, being taken from the track. Matthias, who is the reigning trophy champion, and I think by my calculations this will take him out of the running to be able to defend successfully his title this year. Lawrence Herr, his co-driver, will not be getting a drive in the Quarren and Kempe Motorsport Duquesne this afternoon. So safety car, a nice wide line. Fortunately, there's some big runoff areas here, allowing to get the cars away from any debris that might be out on the track. You can see confirmation on your graphic now of where the cars are. It is Catalana who leads the way. From Nigel Moore, we can see that the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, and we will be ready to go racing. But suddenly this race has taken a real turn. That first corner incident leading into the 2nd corner, which has taken out our main championship challengers and a number of other cars, and suddenly it's looking very, very strong for Gary Hauser, but he's down in 7th place. He's got work to do from there. Valentina Catalana still staying very much with the safety car. He probably needs to back off a bit now. He does not want to catch the safety car, so he will be looking to hold back from that, and then he will lead the field across the line. They're up around towards turn 8 at the moment, so a little way to go yet. Still another 10 turns before we take the green flag, but safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Of course, all the drivers working very hard to try and keep the heat in the tyres and into the brakes, because running around behind the safety cars, the tyres do cool down. Very much essential. The grip, these cars running on a knife edge. a design of car that is very much based on downforce. And we've seen many of the drivers just having to fight really hard to keep these cars in a straight line. They're really tricky to drive. They require great skill. And it's Valentina Catalana currently weaving to get heat into the tyres. But keep an eye on Nigel Moore in the background, who will be looking to get the jump on the number 77 car. Round to turn 15 we come. Safety car into the pit lane. Catalana is on the power. And we are back under racing once again with 40 minutes remaining. And Catalana leads them across the line, but keep an eye on Nigel Moore. He looks to the inside, flashing the lights into turn 1. They come under braking. Catalana still leading the way. Nigel Moore, then it's Jakob Elbacker. Jasper Stixma in 4th place, ahead of Mark van der Snel in 5th place. So now Catalana goes deep into the corner. Nigel Moore taking the wide outside line. Catalana locks up. Now Nigel Moore cuts back to the inside. It looks like Nigel Moore has the line into turn 4, 5, and now onto the fast stretch along towards turn 6. Absolutely side by side. It's a drag race. Who is going to brake late? Looks like Catalana has the advantage at the moment. Under braking into turn 7, and then it'll be on the power, the left hand up towards turn 8 they come. Then it'll be the sharp right hander coming up here. Valentina Catalana leading the way, but a great fight from Nigel Moore. He's not done yet. He looks to the left, he looks to the right. Catalana keeping onto that racing line. Jakob Elbacker in the background, ready to capitalise if these two cars get together. Valentina Catalana having to work hard to defend that position. This is a replay as they came around turn 4, and Nigel Moore taking to the wide outside, with Catalana locking up, and Moore having to just back out of it, then ducking back to the inside. A great fight for the lead here. Valentina Catalana leading from Nigel Moore. Jakob Elbacker in 3rd place, now just dropping back a little bit as we come round to complete another lap. It's the 77 car that crosses the line. Nigel Moore looks to the inside, in towards turn 1, then back to the outside, under braking into turn 1 we come, and Nigel Moore loses it. He spins into turn 1. He just picked up a curb. The car snaps around. He's able to regather it, but he's lost a whole load of places. We told you these cars were running on a knife edge, didn't we? Let's take another look at that. Nigel Moore, he goes to the outside, ducks back to the inside, then to the outside again. Then he gets a couple of wheels onto the curb there. There's no grip to be had there. Fortunately, Jakob Elbacker is able to take avoiding action, so doesn't get involved, but that is a real get-out-of-jail-free card for Valentina Catalana as he leads the way in the number 77 car. Jakob Elbacker up into 2nd. And now it's Jasper Stixma into 3rd place. Remember him and Jan Marshalkowski, the potent combination that won quite unexpectedly at Zandvoort. They are there and poised once again. Do not discount the number 14 car from this. In the background, also Mark van der Snel, along with his son Max van der Snel. A really quick combination in 5th place at the moment, looking at the moment to equal their best result of the season and potentially beat it. But Valentina Catalana in number 77 looking for his 2nd win of the season. They won at Oschersleben back in May, along with co-driver Robin Rogowski. And there is the local driver, Mark van der Snel, in the number 99 Moore Motorsport by Reiter car. It is a Ligier, whereas many of the cars here are the Duquesne, and there are also a couple of Ginettas as well. Out across the line we come once again. And there is our championship leader, Gary Hauser, a long way back at the moment, not making the kind of progress we expected. Nigel Moore, well, he was able to recover, wasn't he? After that spin, he regathered it and he's up into 4th place. So good job from him and the Aust Motorsport Ligier. Great to have Aust here in this series this year as part of this. There is Gary Hauser, currently behind Mark van der Snel. The BWT Mucker Motorsport team look on, of course, the number 8 car, having been involved in that incident at the start and out of the race. So Nico Gerler and Gustavo Kirila out of the race in that car. So we continue very much on our way, and is still Valentina Catalana who leads. We're looking at the moment at the fight for 6th place, and it is Mark van der Snel who is fending off the attentions of championship leader Gary Hauser. number 2 car of Hamza Avega. Good job from him, up into 8th place. So Hamza Avega adapting very much to prototypes for the first time in the Conrad Motorsport car, but making a really good job of it and in a solid position. Also there, Levi Vapula in 9th place ahead of Wolfgang Payer in number 12. You can see from your graphic there, saying here that, it is the 4 cars that are showing as in the pits. Now a move to the inside. Gary Hauser to the inside of Mark van der Snel. Along the pit straight they come into turn 1, under braking. He goes deep, loses a position, loses 2 positions. So it could almost be 3. So what was a fairly optimistic move by Gary Hauser into the corner, he's allowed Hamza Avega through, and also Levi Vapula is there nibbling at his heels as well. So that was not a great move into that turn 1. He's gathered it together, but still a lot of work to do from there. Nigel Moore trying to fight back up with Jasper Stixmer. Now this is for the last of the podium positions. Car 14 in 3rd place. It says on the timing screens 0.4 of a second between him and Nigel Moore, where you can see he's closed that since they last crossed the timing beam. Nigel Moore, after that spin in the early part of this race, now trying to find a route back onto a podium position before he hands the car over to Dino Steiner. Jasper Stixmer made his debut in Prototype Cup Germany at Zandvoort and won on debut, looking to do something similar here. This is a replay of that move, just taking a little bit too much speed into turn 1. There was a bit of contact. You saw a bit of debris flying up into the air, but Gary Hauser dropping back a couple of places and now having to fight his way forwards again. If he wants to tie this championship up this afternoon, they're going to have to move further forwards from there. So, still, they continue. Now, I don't think there was any damage to the Gary Hauser car. They cross the line once again to complete another lap. You can see that Catalano's opened up a gap of nearly a second over Jakob Erlbecker in 2nd place. Now, once again, Hauser is coming back to the inside of a Vega, and that is Vapula behind, also following through. So, a Vega down from 7th to 9th place. Gary Hauser pushing forwards. Hamza Vega behind him. So, Hauser trying to make up for what was a difficult start to that previous lap, now pushing forwards. There is Jasper Stixmer still in 3rd place. Nigel Moore just behind him. In the background, Sebastian von Gartzen just been getting on with it quietly in the number 22 car. While all that's been going on, the pit window has opened at 33 minutes on the clock. It means that there is now a 10-minute window that is open in which every car will need to come into the pits for a mandatory stop. There is a minimum pit stop time of 85 seconds. There is also an additional handicap time that is added depending on the driver's rankings in the FIA rankings. So 2 silver drivers would have an additional time of 20 seconds added to that 85-second pit stop, making it 105 seconds. Right, who's first into the pits? We just saw somebody duck off there into the pit lane. Here come the remaining cars. Jasper Stixmer still doing a good job fighting off Nigel Moore. Stixmer still very much learning and finding his feet in LMP3, doing a good job. Nigel Moore using a lot of the track, going very wide out of the corner. Just to remind you that yesterday, the car that crossed the line first picked up a time penalty for exceeding track limits. It was car 22 that we saw coming into the pits. It's Sebastian von Gartzen who hands over to Maximilian Hacklander in the Conrad Motorsport Ginetta. One of just a couple of Ginettas in this race. Not a lot of rush here because they've got 105 seconds from pit entry to pit exit. So nothing too dramatic. And that is Jakob Erlbacher continuing in that 2nd place. I would suggest that Valentina Catalano in the number 77 car leading the way will go quite late into the pit window before handing over to Robin Rogowski. He's got a clear track in front of him, and Catalano, who is the more experienced of the 2 in the prototype car, and they'll want to maximise the time that he is there. Is that the Van der Snel car? Yes, it is. Mark van der Snel is out of the car, and Max van der Snel, who is very rapid indeed, into the car. Mark van der Snel, who's bronze rated in the FIA categorisation. Max van der Snel is silver, so they get a slightly shorter pit stop. That's going to be about 10 seconds shorter than the silver-silver driver combinations. So that is an advantage to them. Mark van der Snel in the bronze category is out, and now Max van der Snel, who has been very useful indeed in the number 99 car, fires the engine up and he will rejoin shortly. Still, Catalana and Elbacker and Stixma and Moore remain out on track, as does Vapula in 5th place. Good progress from him ahead of Hamza Vega. Still, Nigel Moore pushing so hard. You saw him locking up into the corner, chasing Jasper Stixma. Now, up towards turn 6 they come. And then it'll be the heavy braking and the right-hand turn at the end here. And then a quick flick to the left. And now the slightly windier part of the circuit before they come out of 8, 9, 10 and 11. And then it's full tilt again out towards turn 15. So we are over the 30 minutes to go stage. Pit window is open, and there are still Valentina Catalana, Elbacker, Stixma and Moore leading the way ahead of Vapula and Hamza Vega. And there is Max van der Snel. Keep an eye on the number 99 car. He is very rapid and may well come out of this very well. Still, the leading 4 cars have yet to come into the pits, the leading 5 cars. So we watch Max van der Snel in the number 99 car, currently in 9th place, but the cars, many of the cars in front of him still needed a pit. Stixma's into the pits, so that is the 4th place. Jasper Stixma, who comes into the pits. Jan Marshalkowski will be on standby, ready to take over. Can they pull off the kind of coup that they did at Zandvoort? It's going to be a bit of a stretch from there, but they're going to give it a go. 4th place is where they were before they came into the pits. Here comes the number 2. It is Hamza Vega. Good job from him on his debut in Prototype Cup Germany. Very much learning the way of LMP3 racing now. He hands it over to Danny Sufi from the USA. The Ginetta seat is vacated by Hamza Vega, and he will be pleased with the job he has done. 10th place yesterday, and looking pretty solid to improve on that today if they can keep with the same level of progress. Danny Sufi jumps into the seat of the Conrad Motorsport car. Now Vega helping Sufi to get buckled up. All very much teamwork here. The number of people allowed to work on the car strictly limited. The man straddled across the front, giving the car windscreen a clean. Very, very important to keep visibility good. And now there is that wait before they fire the engine up and get back out on the track. So Nigel Moore is able to get up into 3rd place as a result of Stixma coming into the pits. Now, is Moore staying out? Yes, he is. We've still got another 4.5 minutes of the pit window remaining. Make that 5.5 minutes, my dodgy maths. And so still plenty of time. Nigel Moore, you can see how on the edge the number 3 car is. You can see it twitching going into turn 1. That's how hard he's pushing that car. They take a bit of driving. It takes an awful lot of bravery to hustle one of these cars around here, locking up the brakes, trying to get the undercut on cars and the overcut on cars that have come into the pits. Valentina Catalana, though, well ahead at the front. 2.1 seconds clear of Jakob Elbacker in 2nd place. Good job from Jakob Elbacker, by the way, looking for his first podium of the season along with Courtney Crone. And Catalano looking for his 2nd win of the season along with Robin Rogowski. We thought he might stay out quite late in the window. Now, has he got time to get round again before the window closes? It might be cutting it a bit close. Of course, you can leave it till late in the window, but of course, if you have a problem on the lap and you miss the pit window, you are going to be in all sorts of problems because there would be a penalty incoming. So it's looks like he stays out for 1 more lap. There's another car peeling off into the pits. So Valentina Catalana running out late into the window as well. So Jakob Elbacker is the car that came into the pits, getting ready to hand it over to Courtney Crone. And there is Jan Marshalkowski
in the number 14 car, having taken over from Jasper Stixma, currently showing in 5th place. So, number 70 in. That's Jakob Oelbacher. Great job from him. And now he hands the car over to another American driver, Courtney Crone. We welcome her back into the seat of that car. She wasn't there at the Norris Ring. It was Mikael Lyons who was at the seat of that car at Norris Ring. But now Courtney Crone resuming driving duties in the number 70 Gebhard Motorsport Duquesne. She gets into the car. Her co-driver helps her to get buckled up. Again, no major rush. They've got 105 seconds from pit entry to pit exit. Still the leader out on track. Valentina Catalano leading the way. Still got another 3 minutes or so before the pit window closes. So he's still got time to stay out. And as we've already said, we think he will stay out late, but just not too late, because if he misses the window, it would be a disaster in terms of trying to even get on the podium. So, Catalano still to pit. Nigel Moore still to pit. The rest of the cars continuing on their way. So, Levi Vapula in the number 73 car. He has come into the pits. He's the only solo driver in this race already mentioned. So, he has to come in for a stop. And the stop will be 110 seconds. So it's quite a long stop, but there will not be a driver change. Right, keep an eye on the number 15 car. The championship leading, racing experience, but Nigel Moore now into the pits. Here he comes. He jumps out of the car. Good job done by him. It's Dino Steiner who's getting ready to jump into the Aus Motorsport Ligier. The seat insert, because every driver has a different build. There is the number 15 car, Gary Hauser, Sebastian von Gartzen, currently showing in 7th place. But of course, it's Marcus Pommer who's taken over from Gary Hauser now, and Maximilian Hacklander. So those two drivers have changed. Not as the graphic says on your screen at the moment. It's Hacklander in the number 22 car. Marcus Pommer, who was behind him in the number 15 car, now finds a route past. And with 23.5 minutes to go in this race, continues out on his way. It is the 15 car who has found the route past the 22 car, and it is Marcus Pommer who moves up into 7th place. So back in the pit lane, Aus Motorsport working hard, making sure that the car is ready to go, and then the aim will be for the number 3 car to hit the pit exit line as the clock strikes a 0 on their pit stop countdown. Away he goes, and out of the pit lane he comes. We continue to look at Marcus Pommer, at Maximilian Hacklander in the number 22 car, currently in 7th place. So pit window will be closing very, very shortly. Car 14 is under investigation for speeding in the pit lane. That's Jan Marszałkowski. So what was looking like a really strong performance under investigation. And if he has been found to be speeding in the pit lane, there will be a penalty incoming. Currently showing in 3rd place, Jan Marszałkowski, who took over from Jasper Stixma and is currently in that 3rd place. It's still Catalana who's out on track. And we've still got another 20 seconds or so until the pit window closes. So he really does need to get around really quickly to get the number 77 car back into the pits, because the pit window closes when the clock strikes 22. Now not in a position to be able to see the track, so I'm hoping that Catalana has made it back before the pit window has closed. We're currently looking at Jan Marszałkowski in the number 14 car. And the number 77 car, has he come into the pits yet? Well, according to the timing screens, he hasn't, but it might be that the timing screens are a little bit behind what is occurring. I think Catalano must have come into the pits, because if he has missed the pit window, it would be a disaster. And there is a drive-through penalty that has been awarded to Jan Marszałkowski for speeding in the pit lane. Car number 14 will have to go into the pit lane, keeping to the speed limit, and that is going to be a disaster for the hopes of he and Jasper Stixma to take a podium position. as we look at car 99 out on track, Max van der Snel. It's still car 77 that leads the way. The timing screens are saying that it's Valentino Catalano at the wheel, and he is due to be handing over to Robin Rogowski. The pit window is closed, so either he has not pitted, and looking at the timing screens, it looks as though he must have pitted. So yes, he has. It is going to be Robin Rogowski at the wheel of the number 77 car. We'll wait for our graphics to update on that, and it'll be 77 who leads the way. At the moment, we're looking at Jan Marszałkowski, who has that drive-through penalty, which is a disaster. There is our race leading car number 77 out on track. Valentino Catalana and Robin Rogowski sharing the driving duties of the DKR Engineering Duquesne, running very much out on their own at the moment. It is Dino Steiner in second place in the Aus Motorsport Ligier. So another lap completed in this race 2 of the weekend for Prototype Cup Germany round 5. And it is Robin Rogowski who leads the way from Dino Steiner in third place as a result of that penalty to Jan Marszałkowski. It is now Max van der Snel. There is Jan Marszałkowski keeping to the speed limit through the pit lane, and then rejoining the track a long way down the order, and that is going to feel very, very painful. Just a little over 19 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race for Jan Marszałkowski to try and undo some of the damage that has occurred. He rejoins well behind Maximilian Hacklander, so he will be down in 6th place at the moment. We'll wait for the timing screens to update the next time they cross the start-finish line. So Jan Marszałkowski losing a whole bunch of places as a result of that drive-through penalty. Right, now, looking at your timing screens, it says Valentino Catalana, 18 laps at the top. According to all the information I have here, the timing screen says Catalana, but it must be Robin Rogowski, who is at the wheel of the number 77 car, who's leading the way from Dino Steiner, who took over from Nigel Moore. Max van der Snel in third place, who took over from Mark van der Snel, his dad. And in fourth place, car number 15, Marcus Pommer, who took over from Gary Hauser. Then behind them, Jan Marszałkowski fighting his way back up through the field after that drive-through penalty. Good job from Jan. Sometimes getting a little bit riled is the great way to make quick progress. Coming up behind the number 70 car, Jakob Erlbacher has handed over to Courtney Crone. We saw that happen in the pit window. So hopefully the names on your screen will update before too long, and you'll have a better representation of who is actually driving the car. Now, out onto the pit straight we come. Jan Marszałkowski ahead behind Courtney Crone, heading towards turn 1. There we go. It updates. Into turn 1 we go. And now Marszałkowski looks to the inside of car 70, sees a big gap and goes through, takes that position away with relative ease, and now undoing the trauma that was caused by that drive-through penalty. So Marszałkowski continuing to push his way forwards. So we can see in the pits Nico Gerler and Gustavo Kirola, who will not be taking any further part in the racing this afternoon. That depressing sight of finishing in the pits and not being able to see all that's going on. It is still car 77 that leads the way. Robin Rogowski at the wheel. Then it is Max van der Snel. Marcus Pommer in that third place has found a route past Dino Steiner. So Pommer moving forwards, doing exactly what they need to do. So if things stay as they are now, by my calculations, I believe that Pommer will be able to close off the championship. Gary Hauser and Marcus Palmer, if things stay as they are now, I do believe they will be able to close off the championship. I will need to just double check the maths as car 73 comes out of the pit lane after what has felt like a very lengthy stop. And that is Levi Vapula. So out on to the track comes car 73 to rejoin with 15 minutes remaining. I'm just looking, and it was a drive-through penalty that caused the car 73 to visit the pit lane. So too short a pit stop. So a pit stop that went below the minimum time is why Levi Vapula took that extra journey into the pits. And so that drops him down the order. That is a tough lesson to learn, isn't it, for car 73? A drive-through penalty for going below the minimum pit stop time for car 73. And Levi Vapula is relegated down the order. And with 15 minutes still remaining, we'll have to do an awful lot of work to find his way back up into a serious points-paying position. Not that points are particularly an issue. It's his debut here this weekend, learning the ropes in LMP3 racing, and very much just picking up the experience and getting to the end as much as possible. Right, our view once again of Max van der Snel, Marcus Palmer, championship leader, closing in on car 99 with 14 and a half minutes remaining. And suddenly, a championship is looking like a possibility to be sealed here this afternoon for the number 15 car. So our leader currently some distance ahead by about 5.6 seconds. And Max van der Snel, who has been ever improving this year with every race, now having to work very hard to fight off Marcus Palmer, a driver that we've seen in many categories over the years, particularly in GT Masters, and fighting for that second place. And if he can find a route past, that really would seal his position as championship winners with a round to spare in the Prototype Cup Germany by my calculations. Catalano and Robin Rogowski in the number 77 car, a long way back in the championship hunt, but not able to catch if things remain as they are at the moment. They would need Marcus Palmer and Gary Hauser to record a non-finish to get themselves back into the championship hunt. And at the moment, Palmer looking very rapid indeed. He continues to bear down on second place Max van der Snel. The J in brackets means that Max van der Snel is in the junior championship as well, so looking for points in that. He's not in the fight for the overall championship, but would dearly love to pick up a first podium in the overall race of the season here at his home race in Assen. Marcus Palmer continues to follow his every move out towards turn 9. They go, and around it'll be to 10 and 11, then the very high-speed part of the track as they head back round towards turns 18. So around they go. Van der Snel looking pretty solid at the moment. We've already seen how on the edge these cars are. We have to remember that one wheel on the curbing could be disastrous. We've seen it already. Still, it's Rogowski who leads the way in car 77. There is car 14, Jan Marszałkowski, after that drive-through penalty, into 6th place. Only, well, it says 0.6 behind Dino Steiner. But I think that might be a little bit outdated information, because there's Dino Steiner, who's well behind Jan Marszałkowski. So Marszałkowski has found a route past car number 3 and is pushing forwards. Can he get back up into a podium position in the next 11.5 minutes? Robin Rogowski leads the way. Max van der Snel in second. Marcus Palmer in third. Maximilian Hacklander in fourth. Jan Marszałkowski up to 5th place ahead of Dino Steiner. And here is car 73 Levi Vapula, after that drive-through penalty, going below the minimum pit stop time, and that has dropped him further back down the pack. But 8th place, still a good place to be in this, his first weekend in LMP3 Prototype Cup Germany. Running very much out on his own at the moment. This is the battle for second. You just saw Valentino Catalano at the top of your picture. 3.4 seconds is the gap between first and second. Marcus Pommer must be wondering what he can do if he can get past Max van der Snel. But Max van der Snel, who started the season off well but has got even better as it has progressed, is proving to be fairly formidable in that second place, and would dearly love a second place to be his first podium of the season. A little over 10 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. There's first, second and third running along the pit straight. Towards turn 1 they come. Marcus Pommer just having a look on the inside, but nowhere near close enough to do anything about a passing move on Max van der Snel. Valentino Catalano, the gap is coming down. Now just 2.5 seconds between first and second place. Catalana and Robin Rogowski sharing the number 77 car. Rogowski now at the wheel of that car, having taken over from Valentino Catalano. Robin Rogowski, the less experienced of the duo, not proving to be quite as quick as his teammate. And it's starting to look like it could be a 3-way battle for the win of this race. Will it be Robin Rogowski and Catalana who take their second win of the season? Will it be Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser who win and seal their championship at the same time, taking their 4th win of the season? Or will it be a first win for Max and Mark van der Snel, currently in second place in this, their home race here at TT Circuit Assen on this round 5 of Prototype Cup Germany? The gap is coming down. First, second, third. You can see almost all in one shot now. Heading out towards the final couple of turns of the circuit, past the pit lane entry. So that's out of turn 15 into 16. The tight right-hander, then a quick flick to the left, and then back out onto the pit straight. Across the line they come. The gap is coming down by about a little over a second a lap. So it is now 1.755 between first and second. They are catching the leaders. The teams in the pits are very nervous as they watch on. There's nothing else they can do now. It's just down to the drivers out on the track. 1, 2, 3 running together. 8.25 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. It is Robin Rogowski. The graphic has updated in the number 77 car ahead of Max van der Snel, Marcus Pommer. Maximilian Hacklander is some 13 seconds back, so pretty well out of the running for this battle unless some of these drivers get together. Jan Marszalkowski recovering well into 5th place, but he'll be disappointed with what should have been a podium but for a speed limit penalty. Robin Rogowski leading the way. DKR Engineering, Duquesne DO8. That is the car, and it seems to be the weapon of choice at the moment. But Max van der Snel in the Ligier JSP 320 in 2nd place. Trying to show that there's still life in the dog, yet in 2nd place, closing in. Right, 1.755 last time across the line. They're going to be coming round to complete the lap in just a few seconds. You can see that the gap has very visibly come down. Marcus Pommer looks to have dropped back a little bit. So across the line they come, and it's only by a 10th. So Robin Rogowski is responding. And still, they continue in the same order. But for how much longer, we ask? If things remain as they are at the moment, it will be a championship, by my calculations, that goes the way of Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser. Their nearest challenger in the championship, Julian Apothelos and Oscar Turnio, getting caught up in that first corner incident that saw them taken out of the race. And now suddenly they are taken out of the championship, potentially, if things remain as they are. So Rogowski leading the way, fighting hard local hero, Max van der Snel in second place. Marcus Pommer now thinking about the championship in third place. That's the 22 car off the track. So Maximilian Hacklander, that looks like a mechanical issue. You see smoke coming from the car. So he retires from the race. That elevates Jan Marszałkowski up into fourth place. And he parks the car up on the infield. It looks like that is in a fairly safe place. I don't think we'll need a safety car for that. 5 3/4 minutes of this race remaining. Are we on the edge of crowning our second ever champions in Prototype Cup Germany? Robin Rogowski leads the way. Max van der Snel in second, but eyes now on the third place battle. Marcus Pommer, who shares with Gary Hauser. They came into this race with a solid championship lead, and if things stay as they are now, by my calculations, they will be champions for 2023. But third place never seems enough. You tell a racing driver to back off, is not going to happen, is it? He can see the potential of getting second place and maybe even a win. What a way that would be to win a championship if they could find a route past Max van der Snel and Robin Rogowski. Certainly Marcus Pommer, as we've already said, the most experienced driver on the field. We've got a double yellow flag at turn 8. So some dramas up on turn 8. And the reason is it's our race leader, Robin Rogowski. He's lost it and the car is into the gravel trap. This is going to elevate Max van der Snel into the lead. We are almost certainly going to get a safety car. So, race leader, Robin Rogowski, after all the hard work from Valentina Catalana, safety car is out. The cars are going to close up. And suddenly, everything is turned on its head. Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser elevated up into second place. And Robin Rogowski will be kicking himself. He had a fairly disastrous time at the Norris Ring at the last round. A couple of DNFs after contact with the wall. But this is an absolute disaster for car 77. And guess who's in the lead? It is local driver Max van der Snel along with Mark van der Snel. And they will be hoping that this race does not get going again, because he does not want to be fighting off Marcus Pommer. This could, if they can take their time clearing this car, this could be a win. Not only a first podium, but a win for Max and Mark van der Snel. What a fairy tale story that would be. What a dream come true for that family it would be. The More Motorsport by Reiter team, very much family run car, as we look on at Robin Rogowski, currently stranded in the gravel trap and out of this race. Safety car is out, and we've got just over 3 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. Robin continues to spin the wheels, but that car is not going anywhere. So after today's race, there will be just 50 points remaining. By my dodgy calculations here, if things remain as they are now, then Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser will have 191 points, and I think, yes, and Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tunyo would have 135 points, which would put Hauser and Pommer out of reach at the top of the standings and give them their championship. We've also, of course, lost the number 72 car, who were in the championship hunt when we came into this, so they are out of it as well. And we've also lost Gustavo Kirila and Nico Gerler in that first corner incident, so they are out of the championship hunt as well, whatever happens this afternoon. So Gary Hauser, Marcus Pommer, if things stay as they are, will be champions in Prototype Cup Germany 2023, and Max and Mark van der Snel will be first-time winners. And how emotional will that be? Not only a first podium, but the top step of the podium as well. The clock is ticking down, and it doesn't look like there's any rush to get the number 77 car moved from the circuit. Such a shame. Valentina Catalana, who has been so rapid in that car, but co-driver Robin Rogowski, less experienced, and has been prone to a few mistakes. He's taken over the pole sitting car. There's a car that started on pole position 4 times this year. But once again, looks like it's going to be a double non-finish this weekend for the number 77 car. Got a 5th place yesterday and 2 non-finishes at Norris Ring back at the beginning of July. So we continue behind the safety car, and it is starting to look as though this race is not going to get going again. We're up around turn 3 at the moment. And towards turn 4, there is Robin Rogowski walking away from the scene. A steep learning curve, having led this race along with co-driver Valentino Catalano, and he will be so frustrated. We saw Robin Rogowski in ADAC GT4 last year. So how he ended up on the gravel, well, we don't know, but it seems as though there was nobody else involved in it. I don't think there was anyone near him on the track at the time, so it looks as though he probably just lost it on his own. And that's up at turn 8. So they're now moving the car. The clock has struck 0, so I don't think we're going to get racing again now. The car's currently circulating around turn 7 and 8. So it'll be the remainder of this lap and then one more after that, and then we will be complete. Safety car continues to lead the cars around. Max van der Snel, after a disastrous day yesterday that saw him catching a curb and ending up in the gravel trap, what a turnaround this is set to be today, taking his first ever win in Prototype Cup Germany. And Marcus Palmer sealing the championship. Now look at that progress, 11 places, just staying out of trouble and being in the right place at the right time. A solid drive by him and his father, Mark van der Snel. So around we come. Lights are still on the safety car, so this will be the last lap of the race. And just as long as they don't do anything stupid behind the safety car, it's going to be a win for the van der Snels here at their home race at the TT Circuit Assen. So out we come, out onto the straight. The clock has struck 0. Have not seen a last lap board, but I don't see any reason why this is not the last lap. And there is the 77 car being removed from the circuit by our very hard-working team. Being very, very careful with the Duquesne, prepared by the Luxembourg team, DKR Engineering. The Polish driver, Robin Rogowski, was at the wheel and, for whatever reason, ended up in the gravel trap. And now, by my reckoning, the car's heading around the circuit for the very last time this weekend towards turn 6. And Max van der Snel, what a popular home victory this will be in the number 99 car. More motorsport by Reiter. Marcus Palmer and Gary Hauser will clinch the championship by finishing second. And a good job from Dino Steiner and Nigel Moore. Nigel Moore, well, we knew he was experienced, we knew he was good, but he's really made a great impression here this weekend at TT Circuit Assen. And a podium position for car number 3 will be a very nice payback for some very skilled driving. So out we come towards the last few corners of this race. It is Max van der Snel in the number 99 More Motorsport by Reiter car, leading the way behind the safety car our long-time race leaders, Valentino Catalana, Robin Rogowski, having led for so long. The safety car peels off into the pit lane to allow Max van der Snel to lead the field across. We're still behind the safety car, but the checkered flag comes out. It's a debut win for Max van der Snel and Mark van der Snel, and it is a championship for car number 15, Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser. Brilliant stuff. In second place, they come across the line. A massive points haul for them. And Dino Steiner and Nigel Moore finishing the podium positions. Great job from them as well. And then it's Courtney Crone, along with Jakob Elbecker in fourth place. A good job, a good comeback from them. Jan Marszałkowski in the closing stages has dropped back through the pack, so I'm not sure what happened to him, but Jan Marszałkowski has gone further back again in seventh place. Good job from Levi Vapala on his debut in fifth place as well. And David Hauser in sixth place in car number 12. So a very eventful race for Prototype Cup Germany here once again. There is no such thing as an uneventful race in Prototype Cup Germany. Drama all the way, but what a headline. Max and Mark van der Snel winning their first ever race in Prototype Cup Germany. The team that are very much a family-run affair, Moore Motorsport along with Reiter. And in second place, Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser, who take the championship for 2023 in Prototype Cup Germany as a result of that second place. The points scored will take them up to 191 points. Their nearest challengers, Julian Apothelos and Oscar Tonio, with 135. And with just 50 points available after this weekend, it means that Pommer and Hauser are now uncatchable and can go into Nürburgring and just enjoy themselves without having to worry about the championship. Robin Rogowski and Valentina Catalano had 112 points coming into this race. So they now also well out of reach. So there is confirmation of what has been a very, very eventful afternoon once again in the Prototype Cup Germany. It was eventful yesterday, and it's high drama here again here this afternoon. Max van der Snel and Mark van der Snel, great job from them. A debut win. So they're just working their way round into the pits. Max, who is just turned, in fact, 20 years old and has been karting since he was 7 years old. And Mark van der Snel, who is 52 years old. So still very quick indeed. And there, the message is through to the second place drivers, because they become the second ever champions in the Prototype Cup Germany, taking over the mantle from Burke Besler and Marvin Dienst, who won it last year. I think the junior standings and the trophy standings still very much up for grabs. And the third place for Dino Steiner and Nigel Moore for Aus Motorsport. A great job for them as well. That's their first podium of the season. So some debut names on the podium here at TT Circuit Assen. So into Parc Fermé we come. Congratulations all around. And lots of celebrations. Valentina Catalana, I have no doubt, will be devastated after that non-finish. A fifth place yesterday, but today it all ended in the gravel trap. Let's take a look at some highlights. Wow, what a lot of drama. You can see just how much happened in just 55 minutes of racing. These mighty Prototype Cup monsters, the LMP3 cars with the giant Nissan engines in them. 5.6 litres that makes the ground shake when they accelerate, providing lots of entertainment here at TT Circuit Assen. And we're just waiting now for the drivers to make their way to the podium for the presentation.
Okay, alles klar. Motion. Einer.
So, just working our way to the podium. Coming into this race, it was Wolfgang Peyer who was leading the trophy championship, but Mark van der Snel will have jumped back to the top of the trophy standings. That will still be to be decided next time out at the Nürburgring in the junior championship. Both Julian Apotelos and Nico Gerler recording non-finishes as a result of that issue on the opening lap, and that means that Max van der Snel will jump to the top of the standings in the junior championship. But the big one is the drivers' championship, with Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer picking up 20 points as a result of that second place and making themselves uncatchable in terms of the drivers' championship, with just 50 points remaining after this weekend. So we just gather by the podium, and there is Max and Mark van der Snel. What a great job from them. Fantastic stuff.
I don't do anything stupid, let them guys pass.
Always good to listen in.
Exactly. So who was that behind me?
So we just wait for the podium. Coming into this race, there were 10 drivers in contention to the championship, and all bar 2 of them dropped out. And the 2 that lead the championship are the only 2 that scored of the 10 that were in contention, and that was Gary Hauser and Marcus Pommer. So interviews being done. So very shortly, we hope to bring you the podium. We had a very nervous podium announcer yesterday. Hopefully he's had a couple of stiff drinks today before going up there. And he's doing a great job. And he will introduce our race winners for More Motorsport with the help of Reiter. The all-Dutch team. And first Dutch team ever to sign up for Prototype Germany, if I'm correct. We're always trying to listen in, trying to find out what is going on, but so that's Nigel Moore. So just a little bit too much background noise to earwig on that one. But keep an eye on all the socials, keep an eye on the websites for all the reports from this race. Well, we'll find out all the ins and outs. And there's Dino Steiner there as well. So great job. That's Dino Steiner's first podium of the season. He's been sharing driving duties with Konstantin Skoll.
But now everything works towards us.
So, this
So
the second race of the
Just
prototype
congratulating each
cup
other.
here
Certainly,
in Assen.
the addition of
And now,
Nigel Moore to the team
let's start
has
with the
raised the game for
ceremony.
Dino Steiner. Right,
The
over to
first
our
place.
podium presenter.
Aust Motorsport, Dino Steiner and Nigel Moore.
Beautifully announced today. Top job. Well done, that man. There is Dino Steiner and Nigel Moore to the third step of the podium for Assen Motorsport. Right.
The second place and the winner of the Prototype Cup Championship. Racing experience, Markus Pommer and Gary Hauser.
And there is our new champions, Markus Pommer and Gary Hauser. Second step of the podium for them.
And now, the winner of the race, More Motorsport by Reiter Max and Mark van der Snel.
Brilliant stuff. How popular will this be? The Dutch duo, the father and son, not only their first podium, but it's the top step as well. And there is a representative from Reiter Engineering who's got together with More Motorsport.
Max,
Hey, mind the champagne.
Max
That's all right.
is the fastest junior driver. Mark is the fastest trophy driver. And they have their team representative with them. It's Niklas Sievers.
Hello, Nicholas. Good to meet you. Right.
And now,
Hopefully we're going to
the
get
anthem
a national anthem.
of the Netherlands.
Let's go. That may well not be the last time you hear the Dutch national anthem this afternoon if you follow motorsport. Who knows?
For the third place are presented by Adi Schlag.
So, trophies are now being presented
Hansa.
from the ADAC to our third place drivers. Great to have Nigel Moore on board with Prototype Cup Germany. I hope this is not a one-off. Been really good to have him here as part of this. And has really helped to lift the game for Dino Steiner as well.
Second place and the championship winner.
Our new champions. We knew they were going to be strong when they said they were coming into this series. Markus Pommer and Gary Hauser, the Luxembourg and German drivers.
And now,
And how popular is this in the Netherlands? Winning for the first time, the father and son for More Motorsport by Reiter, Mark and Max van der Snel. Brilliant stuff. And of course they pick up trophies for winning in their categories as well. That'll be the trophy and the junior category.
win the trophies for the fastest junior driver and for the fastest trophy driver.
So, gonna need a wheelbarrow to get that lot out of here, aren't they? So here we go again. The Van der Snel household needs a bigger mantelpiece. There we go. Beautifully done. So having won in the categories, moving both of them to the top of the standings in those categories as well. The celebrations are not starting yet. One more for the team, please. The team get a lovely trophy as well with the Dutch colours. And now maybe the celebrations can start very, very shortly, because there's a gap now, about 6 weeks by my reckoning, we are taking a break, and then we are back from the 13th to the 15th of October at the legendary Nürburgring. It will be round 6, races 11 and 12 of the championship for the Prototype Cup Germany. The championship is decided in the drivers, but there's still the junior, the trophy and the team championships to be decided, and that will all happen at the Nürburgring in October. So I hope you're going to join us then. Still all to play for. Marcus Pommer and Gary Hauser, the pressure is off. They can just go out and enjoy themselves as the new champions in the 2023 Prototype Cup Germany.
Congratulations for the championship winners, racing experience, but also congratulations out Motorsport and Merck Motorsport by Reiter.